Hi-oh, beaver! Away!
And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Critscast. We are coming to you live with some Respawn League Oceanic Highlander Week 3 action. Reckless Rascals versus Batsoup Paraphernalia. My name is Just Jazz. On production tonight, the beautiful Connor. He's one of the best in the business. And joining me on the mic, making his Critscast debut as well as myself, is Luggnuts. Luggnuts, my friend. How are you, man?
I'm going pretty well. Jazz, how about you?
Yeah, man. Doing super swell. Very very excited. It's my first cast on Crits Cast, and we're Friday night Highlander action. Like what could be better?
What better way to spend a Friday night than watch two teams play Highlander?
That's right. Because nothing says TF2 like a little bit of 9v9 action.
Maybe 3-2 for Reckless Rascals. So something
Yeah,
close like that.
I think that's a good prediction. I'm gonna go 3-1 Reckless Rascals, but we'll find out shortly as we are going live for this first mid-fight. Again, this is Reckless Rascals, Batsoup Paraphernalia, Respawn League, Highlander Week 3. And let's get into this. So both demos arriving roughly about the same time, although Reckless Rascals do have much more point presence in this early engagement. No frags traded as of yet, although Shaky quite low has to grab the pack. And they're just doing that little bit of spam here and there, and nothing's really come of it. Andy Root is finally moving into position though. He's taken down Mist. So sniper down, that's a heavy down and a scout down for Reckless Rascals. So they're going to have to pop their quick fix actually quite early, but they've dropped 4-5 players in this, and yeah, it's just going to be time and the meta are going to have to back out, and that first mid is going to go in the favor of Batsoup.
And that's a lot of that pick potential you were talking about on Batsoup's team, that sniper, that spy, really doing a lot of work for them. And although they had Regia taken a lot of space under the point early, it wasn't really enough to swing the fight on top. Maybe the lack of heavy presence could possibly contribute to that. But yeah, just Andy Roo and Zeus getting the picks where they need to, I feel, really helps swing that in their favor.
Yeah, well, this is going to be the first Uber exchange of the game. Taka, it's just going to be a solo on Toka, but he's not going to find anything, and they're going to have to back out. And Hydra's in position. He does pick up the demo, and I think the med did go down, that Shaky down. So that's going to be point re-aggression on the side of Reckless Rascals. But Andy Roo in position, gets caught out by Spade and Bird. They have the game sense. They know it's like, all right, the spy's going to show up. Where is he? There he is. Bam, you're dead. So, some good re-aggression there, really kiting the Uber well, especially that was one of those scout Uber exchanges, which can be very potent given that both Toka's a very, very good player and just, a fully buff scout who you can't kill running right at you. Very scary stuff indeed. I don't know if the Red Medic is still the Red Medic's not on anything at this point. He has gone down time with some great stickies. Aussie is trying to bomb on Bird, but he's going to get intensely denied.
The Blue Medic. Very interesting choice.
Yeah, that is an interesting choice, given that you aren't invincible. The biggest benefit is that you have that really, you heal really, really quickly. That's why they call it the quick fix. What do you think is the driving factor behind the quick fix versus a conventional Uber?
It may have just been a choice for getting that faster Uber, especially since he did manage to pick up the red team's medigun to switch him back onto the Uber charge, which leaves him pretty well set up in the long run, because now they're back at even Ubers.
Yeah, that's like a 300 IQ play if there ever was one, because you can actually pick up the enemy medic's Uber charge, so they are going to have, it's roughly even. Shaky with just a little bit more Uber charge, but 8% is really not that much to push off of. Turris does go down. That's going to be Davey, on Reckless Rascals. But Zeus is also going to be down. Regia goes down as well, and that's actually going to be an Uber exchange going on right now with Batsoup just trying to go as deep as they can before the Uber finally gets popped off. Nothing really been traded so far. It's just been frags. Well, there we go. Frag on Aussie. Hydra gets Maz as well. But kind of even players, but Reckless Rascals are crumbling all over the place now. And Tokoi's really going to have to get out, but Andy behind him. Does he get him? No, he doesn't.
Yeah, the med 4 HP.
4 HP. What an escape.
Incredible escape from Tokas there. And we have been talking quite a lot about Andy Rue's spy here, you know, getting quite a lot of stats, but Hydra has actually been matching him really well on the side of Reckless Rascals. A lot of the spies doing just so much work for their teams here.
Definitely. I mean, now they're trying to reaggress, and they don't have Aussie, they don't have Andy Rue. Spade's trying to go in, and all of a sudden frags are coming all over the place. Andy Rue, Zeus, Maz, and the demo man Meth all going down. So this is it's just kind of been back and forth action right here in this first round. The points been traded back and forth a couple times. Even the times are roughly even. Reckless Rascals do have about 30 more seconds up on the board in compared to batsoup, but I mean the players on batsoup all very, very, very talented, so it could turn around very quickly. And now Aussie and Meth coming in for a big flank, but they are seen maybe not moving as quickly as they could, but they're going to commit in with an Uber exchange, pop on the Pyro and the Scout, and then the Uber's going to get popped back, but Toka and Maz do go down. Andy Rue's very weak, and Lux goes down as well, so the Uber exchange maybe has not come out the way they initially envisioned. And you know, with 15 seconds left on the board, that Reckless Rascals need to kill, and pretty big player advantage, although batsoup has gotten spawners. It's looking pretty good for Reckless Rascals.
They do pick up the spy just for that push, and the sniper, so that gives them a pretty decent advantage in getting onto this. But they don't really play the point in time. Tragic.
So what were you seeing that first round, Lug?
Yeah, well, definitely the pick classes were doing quite a lot of work on their team, but also the flank on Reckless Rascal's side. You know, Spade, especially on Soldier, very scary Soldier to have on your flank unchecked.
100%. Well, this is the second mid-fight of this game. Meth taking a lot of space on this point at the expense of his health. He's going to get an arrow, and a lot of Reckless Rascals, including Regia, under the point, picking up frags. Aussie's going to go down, and they're really doing some aggressive work here. Regia's also going to pick up Para, and it's just all gone wrong for batsoup. So many of them down. It's just Taka, Lux, and Maz up, but they're not in any position to do anything. Hydra is doing some work in the backline as well. I reckon he's trying to get whatever frags he can. He's lurking. Does he get anything?
Down by the engineer and swiftly taken down.
He gets a shotgun to the face, that's what he gets.
Engineer is still the best spy checking class, I'll have you know.
Here's Andy Rue. Andy Rue's getting aggressive. He is going to pick up time, so that's going to be a really good pick. And Turquoise actually has nobody to use his quick fix on. So kind of a tragic turn of events, but you know, they still have the point. They've ticked 40 seconds off the board. You know, this is a not the worst position to be in. Andy Rue's going to run right into Regia, but is he spotted? No, I think he might have backed before he was seen. Again, Andy Rue, great sense of timing, great sense of movement, and he's going in for the kill. He does pick up time. That's going to be time down. That's going to spark the re-aggression. Hydra's going to go down as well, so that's 2 down, and looks like Reckless Rascals, with the exception of Regia under the point, are just going to back out from any sort of re-aggression.
See, Andy Rue managed to get those picks and escape with his life, you know, really quite incredible, to be honest. But what we can also see from Tokas is that quick fix building so fast meant that even when he used it on himself there, he still had it back up for the even, and then also heals himself as well, so it's a good tool to escape with. However, that has sort of led to them losing the Uber exchange on this point.
Yeah, I guess the tricky thing with quick fix is that, like, you know, you're not going to be invincible for the fight, right? All it takes is like some really focused fire to take you down. Whereas, you know, maybe the Uber does take a little bit longer to build, but just the fact that you're just invincible is so powerful. 8 seconds of invincibility does go down if you flash a couple people, but you know, a good focused solo Uber, very powerful. And it seems like, I think if they're going to be running this quick fix, they really have to make sure once they get to that point where they do have the quick fix, they immediately have to turn on the aggression. Because if they're waiting right now like they're doing, they can jump in, but the Uber's just going to get popped right back out. And like Time, he's getting healed up, but Time actually is going to go down. Now some good WM1 from Lux. Again, you know, maybe a valid strat in pubs. It's also very valid strat in Highlander, but somehow, maybe I'm just blind. A lot of batsoup just went down. Shows what I know, am I right?
Well, you know, maybe what works in pubs is too effective in Highlander. But interesting to note is actually Shy is now on level 3 sentry guns instead of the mini sentries, which is of course very odd to see on King of the Hill maps in Highlander. Mainly run by Europeans, I believe. Actually, both engineers are on level 3 sentry guns.
I mean, I guess the logic, like, if you can get it built up to level 3, or even level 2 sentries are very powerful, but we'll hold that for a second because there's going to be a quick pick exchange. They're going to try to take this really deep, and they have picked up a couple players. They've picked up 4, actually, so it has been quite good, but Andy is going to pick up Regia. So, you know, again, it's just kind of a lot of back and forth action. Times on the point are even. batsoup is coming up on a player advantage, so they are going to aggress. Shy's level 2 is going to put in a lot of work. They've got to focus this immediately, but it's not going well so far. Andy Roo is looking at the back line. Is he going to get anything? He picks up Shy. He's going to get the sentry sapped, and that's going to be like, all right, let's move in. Bird and Tur is trying to do some work, but Mist ends up cleaning up Maz, so that's going to be the heavy down on the side of batsoup. And it's just frags all over the place, man.
Yeah, I mean, really
Highlander
unfortunately for batsoup there at the start, they lost Meth to a spy just before they made that push, which meant that even though they had control over the point, they couldn't really push the issue that well because they just lacked that demo man spam until really late.
Well, look at this. Paris actually moved his sentry gun up pretty far, so that's going to actually protect from any sort of flanking play unless they go through that connector in cave. But even then, just move that up a little bit more. You've got a good sentry protecting. But Reckless Rascals are going to pick up the point one more time with 30 seconds left on the board. batsoup really going to have to make something happen right now. What do you think needs to happen?
Well, I think they're already making it happen since they've already taken down 2 or 3 players on the side of Reckless Rascals. And they have the space over the point. Plus they are moving up that level 3 to get a really forward angle. So I think if they have a chance, now's the time to really sink that hole. But they do have a pretty big uber disadvantage, so we'll see how they manage to deal with that.
Well, the quick fix is going to come in, and they're going to have to look for Shaky very quickly. He has not gone down, but they've gotten point halfway capped. But 3 players have gone down, including Turquoise, including Time as well. That's the med and the demo man down. That's going to be really just halting any sort of push, any sort of momentum. And now batsoup, 30 seconds left on the clock, are in a pretty commanding position. But at some point, Shaky did go down, as well as Andy Roos. So there is going to be a slight uber disadvantage, but it's really not going to come into play because they're just going to have to push and fight this dry right here, right now, which is what they're going to do. Maz does go down from Hydra. So, you know, that's the first pick. Para does down, no sentry left, and then Meth and Toka have to be really careful. The furthest most player is on the side of batsoup, but Regia, just a heavy brick wall, doing a lot of work, does go down, and now they're just slightly edging the point. Andy Roos moving in. Can he get a backstab? No, he whiffs it, but they end up giving up the point, sorry. So now a little bit of overtime. I don't think there's enough players, and I think that's going to be the second round going in the favor of Reckless Rascals. 2-0.
Much closer around this time though than what we saw last time, both getting to overtime, and you know, just a few little slip-ups made by batsoup preventing them from just getting that last little bit over and winning the round. So, but they do seem to be improving and learning off these rounds, so we'll see what happens in the third round.
Yeah, I feel like just the Highlander knowledge of Reckless Rascals is really coming into play. Even though this is a new map, you know, the fundamentals are still there. And just knowing like when to push, when the spy is going to be coming up. Like right now, Andy Roo just chilling behind. Is he going to get a stab? He gets Regia. That's as good a pick as any. Maybe not the med, but you know, Heavy's still a really good pick. But Shaky did go down at some point, and so did Para. So that's going to be Reckless Rascals with a bit of advantage. I don't know if they're still running the quick fix. They are indeed. Interesting, the full quick fix throughout the map, with the exception of the one time that Turquoise did pick up the Uber gun. Sorry, the meta gun, sorry.
Same difference. What's interesting here is that Andy Roo has the domination and it is on Mist. He seems to be getting shut down really handedly, which will make things a lot harder for them because Mist is one of the really high impact players on Sniper, on really any class he plays. But yeah, definitely his Sniper is something that could really change things around for them, for Reckless Rascals.
Do you think he should be continuing to focus Mist, or do you think he should be trying to go for more of those pocket picks? Because it seems like, yeah, you can get the sniper, but if you're still giving up ground, if you're still giving up the point, there's really only so much you can do. As I say that, he picks up the net, so there we go.
Seems like he's taken your advice into account. But
well, I mean,
I think one of the
they're
things...
90 seconds in the future, but you know what?
Of course.
It was all jazz. It was all jazz. What can I say?
You should become a mentor for them. But I think
Hydra picks up Shaky. Please go on. Please go on.
I think Hydra just hears whenever we're talking about Andy-Roo and then just decides to show up in game, quite honestly. Because that's the second or third time this has happened. But I think especially for Andy-Roo, one of his main priorities here will be those sort of flank classes like the sniper and things away from the combo, since their combo does have Meth, which is a pretty big equalizer for any other advantage that might be held by Reckless Rascals. So as long as he just keeps hitting down Reggie when he has been, focusing on keeping that sniper down, I think that gives batsoup the advantage that they needed from him. Of course, at the same time, they also have to prevent Hydra from running a train on their own team, so which might be a little bit more difficult.
Yeah, Hydra with a domination as well. I'm not quite sure who's on. My HUD is not that advanced, but as we have been talking, the frags have been flowing a little bit, and Reckless Rascals killing off 1.5 minutes off of the time with some pretty commanding forward positions on the point. Andy-Roo actually is going to pick up Regia, and that's also Shy and Hydra down, so if there's a time to push, it is now. And they've really got to start making some moves happen. Andy-Roo lurking in the back lines. Hasn't found anything yet. I reckon he's just going to go for another flank class. Although Turquoise does have that quick fix to pop. Shaky's coming up on his Uber, but it's actually an actual Uber exchange. No quick fix needed whatsoever. And Lux is just gonna WM1. Ah, you love to see it. You really love to see it. And that's gonna give him some forward position on the point. Bird does try to make something happen from the under the ground flank, but it's gonna come to naught. And batsoup gonna pick up the point. But they still have to kill off at least 2 minutes in order to pick up the round, because I mean this is do or die at this point. Luggnuts, they need to get this round or it's going to be all over. It's going to be the first map in the favor of Reckless Rascals, and I think the wind is in Reckless Rascals' sails. They're playing really aggressive. Reg is going in for a flank underneath the point. Hasn't found anything. There hasn't been any sort of frags traded out. Even Uber's situation as well. But look at Turris. Davey, just getting aggressive. Andy trying to make something happen, doesn't make anything happen. The Uber is going to get exchanged. Maz down really, really low, and just the health is not on the side of batsoup, and they're just going to have to back out. And with 40 seconds left on the board, I think the next Uber exchange is going to be the Uber exchange that decides the map. Reckless Rascals very commanding this first map.
Yeah, definitely. I think this game's turning out to be not quite as close as I would expect in the overall score-wise, but each round is getting quite close, as they really are putting up quite a fight against Reckless Rascals.
Well, they're going to pick up Miss, and Davy's also gone down. Spade has gone down, but the health on health on batsoup pretty bad. But they do have 4 players picked up, and Para just going in as the engineer is going to go down, but you know what? They got the picks they needed. It is going to be even Ubers. Well, a little bit even Ubers. Shaky's coming up on his Uber right now. The dispenser does go down. The ever-important pick, as we all know. And
this might as well be one for batsoup at this stage with that dispenser pick, as you know. Very crucial pick.
They're going to desperation Uber Scout exchange. Miss Hydra down in this fight as well. And it's going to be Regid down. And 3 down on the side of Reckless Rascals with some pretty forward point position. Spade is going to jump in, try to get anything that he can, does not pick up anything. Toka cleans him up with conviction. Andy trying to go in for a backstab is just lit on fire. He's going to go down. But again, at some point Turquoise went down as well. Just frags being traded all over the place. So that's going to be 30% advantage for Shaky. And I think Reckless Rascals, they're going to know they're going to have to take this next fight as a dry fight. They can't afford to wait for any sort of Uber exchange because they know that Shaky's going to be coming up on his Uber quite soon. So they've got to make something happen right here, right now.
Yeah, I mean, batsoup did really well at the end of that post fight, just holding on to the point despite picking up deaths. but they have just lost their medic just before he managed to get over here.
Shaky. Rip. And with 2 seconds, there we go.
That has
3-0.
absolutely crushing for batsoup, as you know they had the uber advantage there. That they could have held that just there, but you know, lost the medic on 80% and just crumble in the last few seconds of the game.
Time your first round, or it's going to be could be quite a painful second round. But we have gone live, so this will be Borneo, Reckless Rascals, Batsoup Paraphernalia, Highlander Respawn League. What else could you want? Critscast. Of course you want Critscast. That's why we're all here. So tell us when Reckless Rascals finally get their setup, how do you think they're going to do? And because it seems like Shy is setting up in that top left, I guess top right if you're pushing into it area. What can we expect out of this type of hold?
Well, I mean, yeah, typically, like we see in most cases, the combo's going to be holding around this right side on the red, you know, facing from the red side. They're going to be holding around this right side shack here, and possibly going to see the sentry gun on the left side, although Shy has not started setting that up yet, so we could be surprised. But yeah, I know, just seems pretty standard so far. I think if we're going to get anything crazy coming out in the ways of holds or pushes, it might be from batsoup, because you know they're still at the stage where they're not burnt out by the meta of Highlander and ready to try new things as well.
Well, we've gone live. This has started. The guys of Batsoup just trying to edge out a little bit. Shaky is staying in spawn until the sniper has gone down, and it has not aggressed. And Taka and Meth has gone down. They have not been able to find Mist yet, who's just sniping up on the hill.
Meth actually getting air shot there while trying to bomb by Spade, so pretty nutty shot from him.
Well, Para's doing a good job at getting the card up a fair little bit. That'll give them a little bit of breathing room. And now they're starting this aggress on the left. Shaky and Hydra are down, as well as Davey. And they've spotted the sentry gun. The sentry gun finally, as well, has gone down. And a lot of Reckless Rascals, they've all backed out to that barn area. Andy Root looking for a stab. Ends up copping a pipe to the base when he's invisible. That's not good. And yeah, you know, they've done pretty well at breaking this hold in the beginning period, although Hydra is lurking behind the rocks. Is he going to get a pick? No, he's going to whip his stab up on Shaky, and that's going to be called immediately. That's going to be a really quick first cap in just 1:08 seconds.
That is actually one of the fastest caps I've seen on Borneo, to be entirely honest. That was very, very quick, especially against a team like Reckless Rascals. What we are seeing now is that they are holding in this sort of left side shack here with the sentry gun, which is one of the places to hold. The other one is more right side, right next to the point, which I guess you typically see more often, at least in Australian Highlander. So we'll see how well this hold does against Batsoup as well.
Well, as you say that, so much of Batsoup have all gone down. Aussie, Lux, Meth, Para, and Shaky, who dropped his full Uber charge to a backstab. Looked like a face stab from my perspective, but you know, we'll give it to him. So that's going to be a full Uber advantage on the side of Reckless Rascals, who have this point pretty well locked down. This aggressive sentry could very well cause a bit of a headache for Batsoup, and Hydra is just lurking about behind the back lines. Hasn't moved in yet. Still looking to get any sort of vantage point, and there it is. He is going to take down the sniper. He's also going to sap the sentry, but he's going to go down and then going to knock that little sapper off. Taka and Mep also ended up going down in the meantime, and they still just haven't figured out a way to, you know, aggress this sentry and really start putting some forward pressure. But it looks like we have a pause.
I don't even know.
Well, we'll figure it out at some point. We are going to go back live. We are going to restart the round. There were some technical issues with the server, unfortunately. So I think the teams have agreed to let the boys of Batsoup do Never mind. I have been told from the best in the business, Connor, king of clicking the buttons on stream, that they're just going to restart the round. That happened to us the other week, Luggnuts.
Yes, definitely.
We went from getting rolled to winning on Badwater. And you can watch that on the Critcast YouTube. Burnt Toast Gaming versus whatever the other team was. I think it was Batsoup as well.
That's disrespectful. It was not batsoup. It was whatever team Exquisite's on. I know that. Wait, no,
Okay.
yeah. It was...
It was Batsoup. No. It was,
No, it wasn't.
It was the other boys, but they're not important because what we're watching is Batsoup. We're watching Reckless Rascals respawn Highlander Prem Season 7 going live right now. Similar hold to what they were in the last first round that we went through. So, they've got the Sentry, they've got the Dispenser all on this right side, playing forward, and it's just going to be the Sacks coming in, trying to get any sort of pick that they can. Meth is going to get cleaned up. Ozzy's just going to be shot into the sky. Missed going down from Andy Roo, so that's that ever-important sniper pick that's going to allow Shaky to push out of the spawn and give him a little bit of space, but they are down 3 players at the moment, so they're just going to take a little bit of space out on this this right-hand side and look to start aggressing now. Ozzy is going to jump in. He's going to land right on top of the meta, and he's going to drop him. Ozzy with a top 10 TF2 play of the month. X-Sign, I hope you're watching, my friend. And they are going to use this Uber, but they're not going to really find anything with it. Spade is going to go down to Lux, and then Meth is going to pick up Davey Turris as he is on my screen. And again, they're just gonna roll this first point. A very, very clean first point. We saw that as we did in the last round, and very, very, very convincing stuff. Meth pretty far forward, and he's gonna pick up Shaky. That's the type of pick you're looking for. And then Hydra gonna look for something, but he's gonna get picked up by Lux. So they're down a medic, but they're still pretty aggressive with their positioning. Shy opting to build her sentry all the way back in that more passive spot we were musing about earlier, but Miss just putting in a lot of work. But that is going to be the Uber forced out on the side of. No, sorry, I read my STV wrong. Don't listen to me. What are we seeing so far, Luggnuts?
Well, what we're seeing right now is a much better situation for Batsoup than we saw before the break. They've managed to completely take control over this right side and force any setup from Reckless Rascals to fall right back to their own sort of right side in front of their spawn, which really allows them to get this cart further forward and possibly a lot better. But the Uber has come out on the side of Reckless Rascals, retaking this sort of side that they previously had and controlling this cart again.
Shaky did kite that Uber quite well, so they're going to leapfrog the Uber. Shaky with a full Uber advantage. They're just going to wait for players, and it looks like Restless Rascals are holding a little bit further back while still holding that house area in anticipation of the eventual exchange. Meth getting really aggressive at time with beautiful traps. We've seen him put him down before. He's just going to back out. Shaky on fire, getting out, but he's going to be picked off. Body shot by Mist. Uber dropped.
With Hydra winning that Spy 1v1 against Andy Roo, clearly just demolishing the mental state of Batsoup, pushing them right back out of that again. And despite the really early success we saw from Batsoup on this point, it looks like Reckless Rascals has managed to turn it around and re-solidify this hold, although still without that level 3 sentry gun over in that left side room.
And now Shaky has to be careful because he has full Uber disadvantage. Hydra, Mist, and Time have gone down though, and they're going to pop out the Uber, but they're just going to do a quick ring around the Rosie, wrap him around the place. Regia all alone on an island. Toka jumping around the place. 1, 2, 3, done. Regia going down. So they've got the picks and they've got a lot of space to play in. They're going to have Toka get some cart pressure, and here is the inevitable pressure. Meth doing as much stickies as he can. Bird's going to go down. Andy was going to pick up Miss as well. That's a really, really good pick from them. And that's going to be 3 minutes, 47 seconds for 2 points. A very, very good time here. And they're just getting pick after pick after pick. All the spawners from Reckless Rascals are finally coming. Well, they've only really just spawned. So this is going to give Batsoup a lot of space to play around with. Shy is going to get the environment kill on Aussie. But even then, this is really, really good space, and that's going to be the Uber exchange up on top. Hydra getting Lux somehow face stabs. Oh my god. Just
face stabbing a Pyro, that is extremely impressive. But overall, I still feel like this round is going much better for batsoup than it was before the restart. So we'll see if this halt here really changes much.
I think when we had the server issues, that gives kind of gives the team a couple minutes to like, all right, what the heck is going wrong? What do we need to do to ensure like that we're not just bashing your head against the wall for the next couple minutes? And whatever they talked about seemed to have worked. And they're doing pretty well. It's unfortunate that Uber exchange did not work out the way they wanted to. I will say that stab that Hydra got on the Pyro was split second. He was unflashed for half a second, and that half a second is all a good spy needs. Andy is getting aggressive. Is he going to get a stab? He's not going to get anything. He's just going to get burnt to a crisp. It's a nice little bacon. I guess. Well, what's some cooked French food? Baguettes?
Well, I mean, I don't think bread really counts, Jazz.
No, it doesn't.
A lot of cooked food is cooked French food, I guess you could say.
If you're frying bread, you're probably doing something wrong. Miss lurking about, looking for a headshot. He is going to get meth, and Shaky and Maz are just deciding, hey, we've got to make something happen. We might as well use. And Shaky trying to save Maz, but nah, Shaky's got to back out. And yeah, it seems like Reckless Rascals really have solidified a hold here. And
that's what you think for now, but something to pay attention to is the fact that Andy Roo did butter knife Hydra, which is going to cause a massive shift in the mental powers of the teams. As we know, Spy 1v1s are some of the most entertaining and influential parts of the game.
Well, if you're on batsoup, how do you break this hold? And Andy Roo gets time.
Having Andy Roo stabbing the demo man is probably a pretty good spot to start off with, because that'll allow them to get a lot more damage in the face smashing fights than they would before. And Andrew is still lurking around looking for more picks, meaning that Reckless Rascals really can't take their eyes.
He does it again. He does it again. Somebody stop this man. Pick him up for your Sixes team. Oh wait, he's already on Luggnuts team. The Uber is going to come out from Turquoise, and the Bird's going to get quite a few frags on a 5-kill streak at the moment. And all of a sudden it looked like to be a very good position. They were taking a really, really good dry fight. Has just turned away at the last second with that Uber. Shaky did go down as well. So that's going to reset with a 30% advantage on the side of red.
I'm actually really surprised Mist has not swapped to the Razorback at this stage, since Andrew has been, for lack of a better term, cyberbullying him. Repeatedly backstabbing him in the worst of times. And judging by communications between the players, it seems to be getting to him at least a little bit.
Maybe the lack of the Razorback is just like, no, I don't respect you that much, you know? Because then it's like, if you swap to the Razorback, then like you've gotten in the head a little bit. So it's sort of maybe a little bit of mental games, or maybe I'm just reading too much into it. But I do that really well. Reggie does go down from Andy, getting the backstab. Para pretty aggressive as well, picks up time, and Turris has gone down too. So again, the picks are really going in the favor of batsoup, and that's going to be the Uber forced out. And Shaky does have to be careful. Shaky wasn't careful. Shaky goes down. And
really?
Bird, what can we say about this girl? 9 kill streak at the moment. Yeah, WM1, but who cares? You died.
Quite honestly, this match has just made me feel really good about the picks for my Sixers team. But Andy Roo finally getting taken down by the SMG from Mist, and now Hydra getting his partner Sun with a stab onto Bear. What's really surprising is it's a testament to Reckless Rascal's skill that despite their constant drops to the Spy, they are still keeping a rock solid hold on this. And just getting people right back into the fight, just continuing the hold, no matter how many times they get taken down. Really impressive gameplay.
Well, it's also interesting that I'm seeing as well, is I'm seeing a lot of times, batsoup, they're getting the picks that they need, at least to start taking a dry fight, but what ends up happening is Reckless Rascals use the Uber back into him. And Shaky, unfortunately, is so positioned so far forward that it's really difficult for him to kite all the Ubers. So, you know, even though if, you know, okay, we're going to leave a little bit and re-push with that, he just keeps on going down, unfortunately. We'll have to see if they can continue this. But again, this is sort of that Highlander, you know, you're just smashing your head against the wall time after time after time, waiting for something to go your way, but nothing is really going the way of batsoup at the moment. They're going to have to be careful too, because they've only got about 4 minutes to make this push work, and Reckless Rascals have really grown into the game at this stage.
Yeah, definitely. This is one of those points that you can get really stuck on, and at this stage, even though there is 3.5 minutes left, it wouldn't be too surprising to see them completely stall here and not really manage to get to the next point. But anything could happen, and they are getting the frags here to maybe make something happen.
They got the frags, and they did exchange an Uber, but again, it's just this sentry nest. This height, plus just it just hasn't gone down. It is really just proving to be a thorn in the side of batsoup. So they've, you know, and it seems with Highlander, you know, correct me if I'm wrong, it's really only a couple ways you can continue to push a certain point. Andy Rugo, he gets two big picks, Time and Regid, they both go down. So that's going to prompt some sort of re-aggression, but they've got to be careful because Myth is lurking. Not anymore, though. He's going to go down Zeus with the headshot. So they've dropped 2. They have a Pyro. Bird's out of position, and they're finally breaking this hold. They've got to take down this nest, so there's no little sneaky back caps coming around or sneaky behind Blaze. And there we go. The nest has fallen, the hold has been broken, and the Uber does come out. Regia goes down early in this exchange. Turris is trying to do anything he can behind the scenes, but he's still surviving, you know, but they need to get this cart moving. They need to start taking this forward aggressive position, and they can't allow Reckless Rascals to get another setup.
Exactly, and that's one of the things that they kind of didn't manage to do in the last hold, but they did successfully do here, is kind of get forward, try to prevent the setup of the sentry gun, set up the hole of other players, but unfortunately with so many players going down, they can't really continue doing that, and it could turn into another stalemate. And
just look at the time that Reckless Rascals held that fort. They turned a 3-minute 2 cap into an 11-minute 3 cap, so that's really good hold on the side of Reckless Rascals. And Borneo, last both in pubs and in Highlander, is such a pain in the butt, man. You've got height disadvantage, you've got really only a few limited spaces to push in, as well as, like, you know, sentries, Ubers, heavies. It's I think batsoup really have their work cut out for them at this point.
Goodness, got immobilized by a yawn there. Sometimes the game can get a little bit tedious, especially like you said when they get to these very stalemate points. But, you know, this is a pretty large blast. You can have a lot of action on the flanks to keep things interesting for the players trying to push this or trying to hold this. And a lot of it comes down to which side they might try to take the percentages on and whether or not the sentry gun stays up to deny the flanks.
One thing we missed while you were talking, I didn't want to interrupt you. Shaky, unfortunately, that flank play that you're talking about, Hydra, the master spy, he can do no wrong most of the time, ends up picking up Shaky, dropping the Uber. So now, in addition to having to push this really difficult last hold, they've also have to deal with the fact that it's a full Uber disadvantage. And again, the work is going to be cut out really hard for them. And but they have picked up Mist, they have picked up Hydra, but they have dropped 5 in the process, and the red med still has his Uber. So this is still a really good position to be in. And with 4 minutes 30 on the clock, we did see them hold that third point for what felt like an eternity. Was probably like 7 minutes, something like that. They're really going to have to sort of engineer play. Everybody pushes and does the role at the exact right time, and hope that they can catch people sleeping.
Yeah, my goodness. Apart from, I was just about to bring up, you know, how that last push was completely won over by the pick classes on the side of batsoup, how Andiru and Zeus managed to really make that opportunity. But on this hold right here, rather than Andiru and Zeus making a new opportunity for their team, it seems like the exact opposite is happening, as Mist and Hydra are really trying to take back their revenge and show that they're not outclassed in any way, shape, or form as by the pick classes on batsoup, and are really just blunting any push that batsoup tries sending at them.
Now, even as soon as they start pushing in through a various flank route, you see a lot of the Reckless Rascals players immediately migrate themselves over to that flank and just start putting as much pressure as they can, you know? And so even if they get the good positions, their health goes down immediately. So it just makes it very, very difficult. You know, the Ubers have evened out at this point. Aussie does go down, but they're going to have to figure out a way to either get the red med to Forrest, get a drop on him, do whatever they can. But, you know, again, the health really isn't on their side. And now Aussie's gone down. Well, Aussie's just spawned up, but Zeus has gone down. Andy Rue has also gone down. And it looks like they're just going to take an exchange in this top right corner. They do get the dispenser. They do get Bird as well, who had taken the teleport, trying to get the telefrag. Didn't get anything, but that's Bird time and Miss down. So this is pushable if they can start making it work. Toka does pick up Turris as well. And now the flank play, Maz and Lux take down the sniper. Regia goes down, and they just need a little bit of cart pressure. They have the picks, they have the sentry down, and Andy Rue gets the med. That's going to be some sort of salvage play, but you know, they're getting these picks, but unfortunately, it's really not going their way. You know, they're getting counterpicked at the same time.
Yeah, in a repeat of the Holden third, Reckless Rascals has built a wall and they're making batsoup pay for it. And there's just really no way, even with the pushes, getting that Uber right up to their spawn, killing the medic, taking down the sentry, they're still pushed back. And now they do at this stage have an Uber advantage going into this push. Unless he has changed his minigun, which is why he has it.
Yeah, Shaky is really, really building well. It looks like he's on Uber. But maybe he got a saw at some point, but he's got 30% advantage at this point. So, you know, he's you know, we've got to see what they're going to do. The question is, do they know they have this advantage? That's the real question. Miss is going to try to get a headshot, does not hit anything, but Meth is going to go down. Aussie goes down as well. They've come up on the Uber, and they've picked up Hydra and Mist as well. So these are two really, really good picks to start pushing with, but they've got to make something happen. But Shaky's gonna end up getting forced here. That's really not gonna be the most ideal thing. Lux tries to go in for a flank, survives on 1 health. God bless this man.
Andrew taking down the sentry very quickly there, and the engineer.
Oh, but look at this card play. Taka and Andy Rue and Aussie just sacking in, just trying to get any. It's just right on the line. They just have to get this last frag. It's just Hydra doing his best Starwalt defense, but it's not gonna be enough. That's gonna be the cap. Look at that time. Batsoup, a 14-minute, 5-second cap of all the 4 points.
I don't know what's going on with my hub. My hub says 17 minutes and 4 seconds.
Sorry, I feel like I have dyslexia, but only when I actually don't know what I'm talking. Sorry, 17 minutes for I read the 4 instead of the 7. 17,
Clearly should have gone to Specsavers, Jazz.
Yeah, well, I've been wearing the same pair of glasses for like 5 years, so maybe I should. I'm due for a pair change. I need something more fashionable. You know, this pair maybe 5 years ago, very, very slick. Maybe now not so much. That's okay. So again, that's a really, really good time. If you're Reckless Rascals, you're gonna be feeling really, really good.
Yeah, definitely. But I mean, this is one of those maps where I've had games on this map where you set a really, really good defense time like that, then you go on offense and take twice as long to push just because you never get past any of the points. And this map can be a real snooze fest and take just so long. But I highly doubt we're going to see that, since Reckless Rascals now on the offense maybe might have a bit of a better time than Batsoup did.
I will say I saw ZS drop a GG in the chat pretty early on. So maybe a sign of things to come. I hope the defeatist attitude has not sunk in, but we'll see. Time and Bird both going for something. All they get is bullets to the face. So don't really get anything. But they do have Zeus down. So that is going to be, you know, that sort of sparks the opportunity for the medic to start pushing out and try to get aggressive. Spade jumps in and ends up forcing Shaky. So just another really good opportunity. Andy Rube does go down. Shy's mini sentry, but then Shy picked up by Zeus.
I will say that Para is displaying quite obscenely his African heritage here, playing with the mini sentry on defense. I don't know how he is able to walk, but clearly a better man than most of us. Just really doing something different, I guess. Maybe they're just not taking it too seriously, or maybe Para just really is the Chad of all Chads on Engineer and deciding to go, you know what, screw big sentries. My shotgun can do more work anyway, which is something that I absolutely respect.
Well, there's that first cap down. They've got 15 more minutes to make this make these next caps work. Reckless Rascals are down 3. Bird and Time and Hydra are all going to spawn in relatively short succession, but it seems like the guys on batsoup really don't have a hold set up yet. Para does have that sentry and that passive hold in that back right's position, but yeah, they're just giving a lot of space to Reckless Rascals at this point. And Hydra moving in on Meth gets him. It's going to be 4 down on the side of batsoup. Aussie feeding in makes 5. So that's it's going to be the next round of players coming in, getting the cap, going forward, and we'll see if they can get themselves set up on 3rd.
Parrot, unable to pull that central gun out, does still take down the spy, who does attempt to go for the sack on him, but unfortunately loses life, so he won't be available to hold 3rd at the moment. This could be the opportunity for Reckless Rascals, as they could get forward here and roll this through before Para has the time to respawn and set up the sentry gun.
Honestly, I think at this point, if you're on batsoup, you back out of 3rd, you just give it up. There is, they're going to take an Uber exchange here in the barn, and Lux just air blasting him off, saying bye-bye, yeah, it's really because they don't have a sentry set up. Para's actually, I think, getting set up on the back lines. No, I apologize. Para's getting set up in the normal spot, but this is, just with the time and I think the confidence factor from the side of Reckless Rascals are just going to probably make short work of this. As I say that, they are pushing up quite aggressively. Spade takes down that sentry. Bird takes down Andy Roo as well, and the rest of batsoup are just sort of lurking around, and bam, bada bing, bada boom, missed, picking up Shaky, and yep, I think that's gonna be 3rd on the side of Reckless Rascals. Aussie just jumps in, eats a pipe to the face. Time showing what he's made of, mechanically on point. Maz way far forward, ends up dying for his efforts. And I always like to see the underdog story. I always like to see really valiant last holds. I don't think it's going to happen.
Well, I mean, clearly Spy's still broken, because I just saw Andy walk straight up to Tokus's face and stab him with a backstab. But, so it looks like despite the sorry state of his team's defense, Andy is still managing to make a nuisance of himself. Besides that, Reckless Rascals is managing to at least get the first wave of kills on each of these defenses, which is preventing them from getting completely rolled. Although I don't know how that's really going to help them, given that they still have to hold for almost 13 minutes on the last point.
And then Hydra's just going to come in and start getting some early pressure. He's going to take down Paris Sentry, so that's going to be a really good pick. Just out of curiosity, Luggnuts, what is the longest hold you've ever had on Highlander on a payload game?
Oh my goodness. Right. Well, that's a painful thought. I wouldn't know exact timing, but it definitely. The thing is, most of the longest holds weren't on last. They were on something like 3rd or something before the clock times out. So, however long that would be, but I'm pretty sure I have had 20-minute plus games, 20-minute plus holds.
Jesus. Well, the Uber is going to come out, and Shaky's finally going to pop his back in exchange. They really haven't gotten any picks here. Time's going to be jumping around the place. They do get Taka, they do get Aussie as well, but they are missing Bird and Hydra. But they're just going to put pressure on the cart immediately, turning the eyes every which way, all on the cart. And they are getting some picks, but they are down Regia and Shy. But Turris just putting in work on this cap. Hydra putting in even more work, and Hydra, we see it in pubs, we see it in Highlander. The spy cap to win the game. That is going to be the game. That is going to be your winners. Reckless Rascals taking the dub, taking the victory on Cascade and Borneo. I think we'll move into shoutouts and then we'll wrap this up. We'll start with you, Luggnuts. What shoutouts do you have tonight?
Well, typical shoutouts to the intellectual powerhouses and to the Burnt Toast Gaming lads, even though most likely none of them watch this game. And shoutouts to Critscast for having us on to cast, and Connor for production, and you as a co-caster, Jazz.
Connor says big shoutouts to both teams for playing along and being great teams, especially when we had those server issues. Shoutouts to my boys in Burnt Toast Gaming, both Sixers and Highlander. We'll see you tomorrow night for our official. Hope it goes well. Shoutouts to Critcast and Connor for hitting me up, asking me to commentate and allowing me to commentate with my good buddy Luggnuts. It's been really, really a lot of fun. And as always, shoutouts to my girlfriend, who I love so much, and my dad, who is not watching because he has no idea what TF2 is. But I'm sure he'd be proud of me if he heard me talking about it. Other than that, I think that is going to wrap it up. Don't forget to subscribe to us on Twitch for VOD access, or at least give us a follow so you know when we go live. Follow us on YouTube. Subscribe to that. If you don't subscribe on Twitch, the VODs will be up on YouTube. Just give us a couple days, but might as well do both. Am I right? As well, if you've got Twitter, follow us at Critscast. I'm pretty sure that's the Twitter. Yep, at Critscast. We post stuff about TF2, so check it out. And as well, we do have a Patreon, so give us some of your hard-earned cash for benefits. Which there's also merch at merch.critscast.com, and you can check that out for yourself. I haven't seen it, but I'm sure it's some pretty good stuff. And your financial support is really what keeps us going. And we love TF2. We love the competitive scene. We love just the zaniness and the craziness of it. And your support, be it viewership, be it financially, be it whatever, is always very, very well appreciated. But we're gonna wrap it up here. Luggnuts, thank you so much for casting with me tonight. Connor, thank you as always. You did a wonderful job on production. And my name is Just Jazz. You've been tuned in to Respawn League Highlander for the Oceania region. Reckless Rascals taking the dub over Batsoup Paraphernalia. We'll see you on the next one.
Hi, old beaver! Away!